until she ran away from home at the age of 17 and got pregnant by some random guy. After she gave birth to her son, Freddie, she left him at our house and disappeared again. My mom gave up her career as a financial advisor so she could take care of the baby, even though she was making good money, while my stepdad kept his job as a software engineer. I thought it was unfair that my mom was taking care of Freddie because he was Vanessa's baby. My stepdad should have been the one to quit his job. I didn't say anything, though, because Mom seemed to enjoy raising Freddie. But then my mom got cancer, and she spent months inside the hospital. That's why I had to drop out of high school to look after her and Vanessa's son. I was so pissed at Vanessa. I mean, even though she wasn't living with us anymore, she was still ruining my life. Meanwhile, my stepdad couldn't cope with my mom being sick, and he fell into a deep depression and started drinking instead of going to work. He lost his job as a software engineer, and suddenly we couldn't afford to live in our house anymore. Instead, we moved into a small one-bed apartment, and it was all Vanessa's fault. 6 months later, my mom passed away. It was the closest I ever came to giving up on life. I'd lost the only person who truly cared about me. And then Vanessa decided to move back in with us because she had nowhere else to stay. But when I asked her to look after Freddie, she refused. That's when I lost it. I screamed at her to take some responsibility, but she only laughed and told me to take a chill pill. The next morning, Vanessa was gone again, and so was all of my mom's jewelry. Mom didn't have much, but that jewelry was important to her, and she wanted me to have it. It was worth only $2,000, but I would never have sold it. It was all I had left of my mom. That's when I had enough. I decided to move out and find my own place. My stepdad still hadn't found another job, so he could take care of his grandson. I felt bad for abandoning Freddie. I cried as I gave him one last cuddle before leaving. That kid was in for a tough life with a mother like Vanessa, but I wasn't willing to sacrifice my life for this broken family anymore. My mom and stepdad didn't have any savings. They had never planned for a worst-case scenario, so when bad times hit, they couldn't cope. They couldn't afford a nanny for Freddie or the best medical treatment for Mom. Everything fell apart, and I had to step up to take care of everything. In the end, it was too much. I don't want your pity. I just want to give you some advice. Prepare for a rainy day while the sun is still shining. Have some money saved up just in case. And surround yourself with decent people who will help you through the tough times. Because life can be damn hard.
Kicked her hard and she fell on her butt. How dare you mess with my friend? Your friend? She's my sister, you moron. Get lost. What? Turned out, she was Nora's twin sister, Leah. She gave Nora a death stare and ran to complain to her mom. She can't be your sister, Nora. She's awful. Yeah, she is. That's why I didn't introduce her to you before. We just never get along. But thanks for standing up for me. Days passed, and we all started going to the same school. Whenever Leah or anybody bullied me or Nora, we always stood up for each other. Life was good until one day in the 6th grade, Nora told me the saddest news. Their family was moving to New York City. I don't want to go, but my dad's got some big job there, and he can't miss it. I'm so sorry. She hugged me, and we both burst into tears, while Leah mocked and laughed at us. And that's the last day we all met. I missed Nora so much that I didn't even attend school for days. But then Mom and Dad encouraged me. Slowly, I started focusing more on my studies and became a school topper. But when I was in high school, my parents came up with a strange plan. They wanted me to move in with my aunt in New York for a better education. I wasn't so happy to leave them, but I agreed. When I reached New York, Aunt was so pleased to have me. She took me shopping around the city and got me all ready for my new school. Stepping into the big school, I felt like I was in a movie. I walked straight up to my class in the 9th grade, but almost all the seats were taken. I was gazing around when suddenly a girl waved at me. Me? Me? Yeah, come on up. Here's a seat. That was so sweet. I walked near her, but then I noticed from her smile, she's someone I knew. OMG, Nora? Is that you? You look amazing, and you got contacts? I know, gotta make some changes. And you're beautiful as ever, too. We shouted in excitement while the whole class stared at us like crazy. Nora took me out on a tour around the school, and we bumped into Leah. Oh, God, you again? How many more losers can a class of grade 9 hold? And she had a set of minions here, too, around her. Seemed like she hadn't changed one bit. Well, maybe you can leave and never come back, so the class will be one loser less. Nora and I laughed and high-fived. Leah looked like she was about to attack me, but some teacher walked by just then, and I escaped. Later that day at lunch, I sat down with Nora at a table, and the next minute, 2 girls brought us food as if in a restaurant. Hey, don't you know I'm on a diet? Take this burger back and get me a salad. And, oh, one for Stormy, too. No, really, it's fine. I can get my own lunch. Thanks. Hey, why? Easy, girl. See, she's already going. Now, chop chop. Whoa, I was surprised to see she was a big shot in the school, with her own set of minions. As we were eating, Leah was sitting a few tables away, and I saw a strange grin on Nora's face. Now, watch the show. Saying that, she walked straight to Leah with a bottle of water. She silently poured the whole bottle onto her food. Leah snapped and pushed her hard. Nora fell down with a scream. Ah! Look, guys! She slapped me and pushed me down for no reason. Do you want such a mean girl to be your president? Stop embarrassing yourself, Nora. You're gonna lose no matter what you try. We'll see about that. What was happening? When she came back to her seat, I asked Nora, what was all that about, Nora? And I saw that you started it. That wasn't very nice of you. Why? I told you, you gotta change to fit into the world, or you'll lose. Well, here, I mean, the school president election. I'm running, and so is Leah. And I have to beat her butt. I wasn't liking her cheap winning tactics. But she was my friend, and when she asked me to help prepare posters for her campaign, I did. The day before the election, the candidates had to give their final speech in front of all the students, and the second student had to speak in favor of each candidate too. I was praying Nora wouldn't look up to me, but she did, and I really had to step up. I started off confidently, but suddenly I realized how many pairs of eyes were on me, and I lost my nerve. So, what I'm trying to say is, vote for Nora. And the whole school ended up shouting in chorus, No, Nora! No, Nora! Nora looked furiously at me and stormed off. I called her out, but she didn't stop. Gosh, I'd messed up, but I hadn't done it on purpose. She shouldn't have asked me. And when the election results were announced, Leah was declared the winner. I knew Nora would be really mad, but I had no idea what she'd do next. Just as the previous president was putting the president badge on Leah, Nora came charging straight at her onto the stage and knocked Leah over. She ripped the badge right off her shirt. I jumped onto the stage to stop her, but just then, she pulled Leah's hair, and it came off. OMG! It was a wig! Everyone looked stunned to see Leah hairless. Nora just stood there grinning, while Leah looked around horrified. I thought you'd at least keep this promise, Nora. You suck! She burst into tears and ran off. As Nora walked off the stage, I went after her and grabbed her arm. Are you crazy, Nora? How could you do something so awful to your own sister? Who are you? What have you become? Who are you to ask me that, you stuttering moron? You cost me the election, too. She pushed me so hard that I hit the wall. I lost it. I attacked her back, and it was a big fight that landed us both in detention. But at least I was clear about something now. I was not apologized for being so mean towards me. You know, all these years, I thought being mean to people says you're tough and strong. The way I treated you and Nora till now, I think I deserve this shame. No, you didn't deserve it, Leah. It was cruel, but I'm glad you realized your mistakes, and I hope this means we can be friends now. We started hanging out in school and even at my place to study together, and she was actually quite easy to get along with. We aced the exams, and I was really looking forward to junior prom, but Leah seemed reluctant. Actually, I don't think junior prom is a good idea, but you should go. It's just me. Oh, come on, Leah. You're the president now. You mean the hairless president? If only it was a Halloween party. You could come as Voldemort and win. Shut up, Nora. There's a big difference between being hairless and heartless. You should be more worried about how ugly you are on the inside. How come you don't stutter at all when you raise your voice at me, Stormy? Was it a plan to make me lose the election then? Think whatever you want to. I don't care. See you at prom. Leah and I walked out. I took her shopping that evening, and we got some beautiful dresses for the big eve. And I bought something that shocked Leah. A bald wig. This is going to complement my costume. I'm going to show everyone being hairless is a fashion in itself. How about you? She cried and hugged me tight. I held Leah's hand tight and took her to prom, beautifully hairless. Some gossiped, many were speechless, and I saw my friends smiling with confidence. That made me happy. Nora mocked us and laughed, but no one backed her up. Hey, knock it off, Nora. Leah looks lovely, and it's brave of her to come like this. Yeah, and we all like Stormy too. She's really nice. Nora lost her mind and picked up some juice glasses to fling at us, but just then the principal happened to walk by, and the juice went straight in her face. She immediately kicked Nora out of the event. That felt like a victory. Just like that, we were at the end of high school. We got some great news. Leah and I got placed in the same university on scholarship. The last day at school, I walked into the restroom to find Nora sitting in a corner bawling like a baby. Hey, Nora, you okay? What happened? You of all people. Why are you here? Just leave me alone. Sure, I will. Right after you tell me what's wrong with you. What do you want to know, huh? That I'm a real loser? Fine. I'm dumb and stupid, and I failed all my exams, and I won't graduate from high school this year. And I've lost all my popularity, and everybody hates me. Happy to hear that, Stormy? Why would that make me happy, Nora? We used to be best friends, and I miss that person. But maybe this is a chance for you to set things right before you leave this place. Be nicer to your new classmates, and they won't hate you. You said you have to change to fit in, and I guess you need to change into the better, kinder version of yourself now. I know you can. She looked at me silently as I gently patted her on the shoulder, and then I walked away. Expected that, so it was time for me and Amanda to launch part 2 of our revenge program. She would follow Amanda secretly and find some dirt on her, and she would catch it on camera. I helped her prep for the exam all week, while Amanda hung out with her as usual, acting completely normal. One evening, Amanda turned up at my house looking super excited. I got it. I caught her on camera. I watched the video of Katie sneaking into an empty classroom, and minutes later, a boy showed up. I recognized him as Katie's boyfriend's best friend, and then the two of them started making out. Seriously, this girl was just the worst. On the day of the math exam, just before it was about to start, Katie winked at me. Wished me luck. Not that I need it. I grinned as I got the math paper and started working on it. Oh boy, this was gonna be so much fun. As soon as it ended and we all went out, Katie came charging towards me like a mad bull. She grabbed me by the arm and dragged me to an empty classroom. What did you do? I didn't know a single answer on the exam paper. Are you crazy? You made me fail the finals. I'm going to completely ruin you. Not if we ruin you first. We turned around to see Amanda walk in. What are you talking about, stupid? This is your fault too. You couldn't even steal the right exam. Oh, yes, I could. I just didn't. And this is what I'm talking about. And she thrust her phone in Katie's hands and played the video. Katie's eyes went wide in horror as she watched herself. Amanda quickly snatched the phone from her before she could smash it into a wall. Give my diary back, Katie, or this video is going to be making all the social media rounds in no time, and everyone will know you're a cheater. Katie screamed in frustration and took the diary out of her bag and threw it at me. Also, you just lost the only real friend you had. Being pretty or fashionable means nothing if you're a jerk on the inside. You're always going to end up alone. And with that, I put an arm through Amanda's and we walked out of the classroom. I decided I was done trying to be anyone but me. I joined the mathletes and actually won the competition for the school for the first time in years. And I'm friends with all the math nerds now. We're a pretty cool bunch. Oh, and on Valentine's Day, I wrote my lame love poem to Alex on a card and asked him out. We've been dating for 2